So I basically just want to, get this video out here. Those of you all that did the Boss Up Challenge, you already know that I did a video where I talked about, I think the title was How I Made $50,000 in 10 months using Airbnb for a fundraiser. So that was a very popular video for obvious reasons. And I think I have an advantage because I'm actually doing a business that's pretty well known. I mean, people know about Airbnb as like an established company. So I don't feel like I'm going to have that issue of people not trusting that it's, the real deal. They don't have to worry about it being like a get rich quick scheme or anything like that. It's really just good old fashioned work, and it's actually very easy and actually can be fun depending on how much you have on your plate. The guests, they really can be very nice, and I know when I first started, it was very enjoyable actually meeting all the different people from around the world who came to stay at our home. But anyway, I want to let you all know about the Diamond Lab Academy. So you know about the Diamond Lab already. I've been working on that since about August. And let me make sure I'm not shaking the camera. I've been working on the Diamond Lab since August. And the Diamond Lab, it has evolved into many things. But overall, the core of my mission for the Diamond Lab is the same. And it's serving as a small business development network and a platform basically for entrepreneurs to be able to get the things that they like, want, and need all in one place. Things to help them grow their business, start a business, grow, scale, get mentorship, coaching, and those kind of things. The catch is that it's going to be affordable. Yeah, it's going to be affordable. I've been doing a lot of market research on courses and coaching and the cost for these type of things, and it's really been amazing to see just how much people are charging. And I'm not knocking anybody for what they charge for the work that they've put in, especially if that is their business. That's what they do. But I think the great thing that people are going to like about the Diamond Lab Academy is that it's not coaching was not my business. That's not how I make my money. However, I have been told by numerous people that I need to learn to package my knowledge and offer it for a fee. And I think that's, a really good idea. So I went ahead and moved forward with that because there are a lot of people that really want the knowledge. They don't want to go and do all the research. I never really thought that people would necessarily want to buy a course because I'm thinking that they would just go research the information and that kind of thing. But people actually like it when you make it easy for them, when you bring everything together, you package it nicely, and they feel comfortable hearing from somebody that's actually doing it, which I am actually still doing it. So I'm able to stay up to speed on all the current things going on with Airbnb and short-term rentals, because it's not just Airbnb. I refer to it as Airbnb, but when I say that, just know that I'm also including Booking.com, HomeAway, and all these different booking platforms that you can use, and you don't have to be a hotel. So Airbnb, the way that I got started is my son got accepted into MIT, and when he told me that he wanted to accept the offer and go, I wanted to make sure that we could afford it. So I decided, okay, I need to figure out how to make sure I can make it happen using the resources that we already have. And so I thought, okay, well, someone told me about Airbnb maybe a year or two before that, and I wasn't interested in it. But at this point, I was like, I wonder if that Airbnb deal is still something I can look into. And that's what I did. I actually downloaded the app, and I just basically just looked at it, saw what it entailed, and I was like, you know what? I think I could do this. So I think, let's see, my son, he got his acceptance letter on December 14th. We made the decision that he was going, I think, the next day. Once he let me know, he definitely wanted to go despite offers from other schools. And I would say from the moment I decided, that was probably December 15th, we had our first guest December 31st. I mean, it was like 2 weeks later. I wasn't playing around. So, but really the property was already in decent enough condition to like just do a few minor things and clean up and, that kind of thing, and just make sure that we have one room. We just started with one room. And that's all I thought I was going to be doing, was just one room. But when that room got booked so quickly and kept getting booked, I was like, maybe I can add another room, and that's what I did. So my family, we got to work. We started moving things around, and I basically turned this other room into a bedroom. And before you know it, that was getting booked. I kept going, basically. I don't know any other way to say it. The money was just too good. It was too easy. It was unbelievable, because a lot of the people that would come to stay they weren't really ever here. You wouldn't really see them, especially with the way my home is situated, because I have a full, like an apartment, the whole basement level is like an apartment, basically. A whole kitchen, bathroom, laundry room, everything separate than the upper two levels of my home. So in a separate entrance. So it was really, really going well. And I even got to the point where, because I wanted to make sure that I made enough money just in case he didn't get, like scholarships or whatever, I was like, well, let me put more rooms on the market. And by the time we came around, I guess maybe a month or two later, we had about 5 rooms on the market at that point, and they were steadily getting booked. There were some slow periods because the winter time is slow season, but it still was just, you have to understand, I was not used to getting that money anyway, and my bills were getting paid because of the existing businesses that, I had at the time. So really, it was just like, wow, okay. My son ended up not needing really any of the money that I raised because we got a full ride and we got financial assistance. Yeah, it was that fast, Heather. We did it that fast. 2 weeks. That first room, 2 weeks. So he ended up not needing the money. And I just felt like that was a huge blessing, because that $50,000, it has been instrumental in putting me in a position to attempt new businesses and to make investments. I don't play around with like the money that we have to pay our actual bills. I don't like to cut things very close, but because we had that money, we could afford to lose it, because it's like we didn't even think we were going to have that money anyway. And so I just think it's really good. So I started telling everybody about it. Anybody who was willing to listen, I would tell them about, you should consider Airbnb, and a lot of people didn't think that it would be something that they could do because they don't have a home that's in a tourist area. My home is actually in a tourist area. And so it's somewhat tourist area, I would say. It's like down the street from the harbor. And so that did play a role. But I started wondering, would there be a market in a property that's not near, a tourist area? Or for a property that's not, really modern or beautiful? Like, I wonder, could I use some of my other properties for this? Because I have a property in Waldorf, and I didn't really like the direction things were going with some of the tenants that were in there. Just they were tearing up the house. It was really a mess. And so I said, you know what? I want to give it a shot and see. I can try one room, and if it doesn't get any hits, then I just won't go any further. But sure enough, I put one room on the market, and it got booked and continued to get booked. And so I just did the same thing. I went through the home strategically with my family and friends, Heather. And you were there, actually. You were there for this transition. You were living in that home at the time. And we just went through there one by one, cleaning up the homes, and each resident that was living there was given notice that, you either have to leave, or if you stay, you need to be willing to accept, this new arrangement for the property. So we got everything looking good, and before you know it, that whole property was booked. And I was like, wow, and it's not near any kind of tourist area. It's an older home. I want to say it was probably built in the 70s, maybe the 80s. Just modest, you know what I mean? Just a very modest home. And I like to say this because this is why I think it is worth teaching a class, because a lot of people don't know the options that they may have. Actually, they might hear Airbnb and rule it out because they think they need to own the property. They think they need a home, and that's not the case. You can actually do it out of an apartment, a condo, a townhouse. It just depends on where your property is located. If you have a homeowners association, or like, if you have an apartment complex, it's very strict. But I'll be honest with you, a lot of the times they don't know. So I've seen a lot of people doing it, and without any regard for the rules of like their particular area. So I know that people have this misconception that they can't do it, or, oh, my home isn't pretty enough, or we're not located near a beach or anything. I'm telling you, I tested it out and it worked. And I did another one of my properties that's also not in a tourist area, also an older home, and also a home that was in bad shape. So we went there, and I think you all probably, if you've been on my page, you would have seen me going live doing the renovation over there at that property. It was easily a $30,000 renovation, but I had full confidence that I would end up making that money back because of what I saw with the first two properties that I did. Of course, you always have that fear that you don't know if it's going to work out the way you think it will, but that's where you have to face your fears and just take a risk and give it a shot. And so part of that $30,000 for the renovation actually came from the money that was raised for my son's tuition that he ended up not needing. And also, my mother and stepfather were able to move into that home, and my mother will be retiring soon, and she feels comfortable knowing that she's in a home owned by family, and they actually enjoy doing the B&B out of that home because they're very personable. They like people, so it's really been a good fit. So I think that Airbnb is an excellent option for people of all types, all backgrounds, no matter where you live. It's a possibility that it may work. And I'll give you some pointers on how you can actually test the market. You can create a profile before you even have a property ready. It might be your home. You don't have to you might have to just put up one picture. I think that's what I did. It requires at least like one picture. Put up a picture and set up the profile with everything except pictures, the way you ideally want your profile set up, and open it up. But don't put it on instant book. Put it on the setting where you have to like get an inquiry. Do that. See if it gets booked. That's what I did. So you can test it out. Now that won't tell you how frequently it'll get booked unless you like do that for a long time, which I wouldn't recommend because I don't think Airbnb really likes that kind of thing if you're like turning down reservations. But just at least, try it out and see what happens, and it'll let you know if there's a market. Now, the market, if you're not in a tourist area or a spot where there are a lot of people coming from out of town, then keep in mind there is a local population, a local market, okay, for people who are actually considered homeless. Working homeless is one category of people who are local. Then you have your people that for whatever reason, whatever they're doing on a Friday night or whatever, they want to rent a room, an inexpensive room. If you just don't know, you might have somebody that I've heard all kind of stories about why people needed a room on a short-term basis, and they'll all be kind of like local people. And I'll tell you, that is the biggest market that I've tapped into for the other properties, and they stay full. And oftentimes people will stay long term, as long as they can afford your daily rate. You can give discounts and things like that, but you can definitely, if depending on what area you're in and the price point you're looking for, if you're willing to go low enough, you're going to get locals. They may be homeless and not just working homeless, but you might get a really like a homeless person, But the thing is, if you think about it, depends on, like if you have if you're scary about things. But for those people who actually wouldn't mind, imagine like you're giving people shelter, you know, you're offering affordable housing. So for me, see, me and my family and my children, we are accustomed to living in homes that also operate businesses like assisted living. Before I actually moved out and got my own place, I was living in my own home that had an assisted living running out of it. So we're accustomed to it. Everybody's not made for that, though. Everyone is not interested in doing that. And I understand. But if you open your mind to it, or you consider that it's just something short term or fundraiser, it really could help you with certain things. The good news is when you do it, you don't have to do it permanently. You can actually block your calendar off on certain days of the week. If you don't want people, you can do it once, you can do it twice and stop. I mean, it's really just very flexible. And I think that's what people don't understand about Airbnb and how you can do this is just that it's very flexible. And then really what all you're doing is, making sure the rooms and the home is clean and that you're providing good customer service. And even the customer service part, I'm to the point now where I don't see probably 90% of the people that are staying in these properties. I basically scaled the businesses and most of it is automated. With the exception of communication, if someone has to message and ask a question or something like that, if it's something where they, can't find it in the house manual or they just need like a response. But besides that, electronic codes, door cameras and doors that you can look at on your phone and open and talk to people through the microphone, you can do it remotely. It's definitely something you can do remotely. You just have to make sure you have your cleaning people lined up and reliable people, but you definitely can do it. Like if you own a property in another state, it's doable if you set it up. And now there are a lot of companies actually that are coming up that actually manage your properties for you. They run the Airbnbs for you. So it's just a number of possibilities. But as you can see in the comment section, so far, and I wish I was able to share the screen. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I haven't learned that yet, and I will eventually, because I would love to log into my account so that you can see, the numbers, the analytics, and kind of see what it's like. But since I can't do that, I did add up the numbers. And between Booking.com and Airbnb, as of today, as of 1 hour ago, for January, we have made $8,889.40. Now, that's Booking.com and Airbnb. That doesn't include the private people that I have that pay me a daily rate or a monthly rate. So let's see. We're going to add in 3 more people who are paying daily or monthly. And when you add that up, as of 1 hour ago, we've made $10,939.40. Now, if I really think about it, that figure right there probably covers the mortgages for every home me and my family owns. I think it might be just a bit shy, but it pretty much covers that, right? And then you have to remember, there are still other businesses that are running and generating income. So it's really good. So it's the kind of thing where you don't have to quit your day job and you can just kind of do it on the side. And the sky's the limit. As long as you're good with money, you know how to handle money, it can create amazing opportunities for you to grow and expand, invest, pay off your home, pay off debt. I think it's excellent. So if you're interested in taking the course, please make sure you click on the link that's in the comment section. And that doesn't mean you're committing to the course. It means you're going to be a part of a live webinar where I kind of do what I did tonight, but it'll be more people who have expressed interest, not just me going live on my personal timeline, but people who have actually registered. They've pre-registered. So the link down there is actually for you to pre-register. And once you put your information in, eventually you're going to receive an email that's going to tell you the date of the webinar, and it'll be like a Zoom link. And for those who are not familiar with Zoom, just maybe Google it, look it up. You can get a free version of it. You don't see the link in the comments? Let's see. See if I can. It should be on the post, but I'm going to put it in the comments too. There it is right there. So if you click on that, it's going to ask you for your name, your email address, and your cell phone number. And don't worry, I'm not going to spam you. I can't stand when people do that to me. I'm not going to do that to you all, and I'm not going to give your information to any third parties. The information is being used for the purpose of keeping you up to date on when the webinar will be and when the course will be. I was considering doing the webinar, doing one of the first ones on Sunday evening. I'm probably going to have to do more than one, of course, because everybody won't always be able to make the same time. But I'm thinking about doing one as early as Sunday, because last I checked, we've had nearly 40 pre-registrations. So that means 40 people who have clicked on this link and put their information in because they're interested in a course. So go ahead and click that link if you think you want to hear more about it. And then during the live webinar, after I'm able to answer people's questions and different things, then you'll be given an opportunity to actually sign up for the course. And the pricing I feel will be very reasonable. What I want you all to do, if you feel like you might be seriously considering this, go online and Google, Airbnb courses, coaching, consulting, and look at what you see. And then come to my live webinar, and I believe you'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay? Pleasantly surprised. I'm also going to be having, with the Diamond Lab Academy, there are going to be other courses that I offer. Airbnb is the first one because it's the one that I could more quickly do, and I think it's easier to teach people how to do it. But the other two courses that I'll be offering are step-by-step how to start a childcare center, how to start assisted living. Those are more cumbersome, the licensing requirements and just the credentials you have to have. But there are still people that really are interested in that. And so since I have that knowledge and over 14 years of experience, I'm going to package that knowledge as well and try to help people explore those businesses, because we do need more people in those industries. Let's see, will you be able to access the webinar later if not able? Yes, I'm going to do more than one. And as long as I have your email, and if you have your cell phone number in there, you'll get a text as well as an email. And then you can opt out anytime if you no longer are interested or you don't want to receive those notifications. But again, I'm not going to be harassing anybody or spamming anyone. So the Academy is really something I like you all to check out. It's in development right now with the additional courses. And we're going to have it's going to be split into two different ways that you can actually join or participate or enroll is what I'm calling it. Because we're calling it an academy. So you will enroll basically, and we'll have courses that you can take where it's just like a one-time course and then you're done. But because I know there are a lot of people that are looking for mentorship and coaching, and they feel like it's something they'll never be able to do because they don't have four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, $10,000 to pay coaches, because apparently that's the going rate. You will be pleasantly surprised, I believe, when you see the type of programs that I've created under the academy.